The United States. It's a nation born from immigration, and it's been built by those who aspired for the American dream. This history of global migration is a personal history for most Americans, and one person directly related to this history is Donald J. Trump. A second-generation American born of a Scottish mother and an American father, Trump's ties are truly international, and he embraces this connection. But like most Americans, he has a strong opinion on immigration, and that opinion starts here. This is the US-Mexican border, and it's 1,989 miles across, and it reaches both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and can be modestly described as a big border. And with big borders, it has big issues. One of these issues grew from the 1990s as immigration grew towards the United States, and this issue is illegal immigration, and it's a cornerstone of the Trump campaign. The solution to this issue? A permanent concrete structure that could become one of the most expensive public works projects in US history. It's a Trump wall, and calling it ambitious would be an understatement both politically and logistically. To build the wall, you must have property to build on, and not all land connected with the US border is automatically government property, so to create a continuous wall, it relies on private property purchases. But the problem is, not all owners wish to sell their land, meaning it'll have to go here, court. And legal cases cost a lot of money, meaning that by the time the government wins, it'll need to buy the land and pay the legal costs. Then multiply the hundreds if not thousands of potential legal cases before you've even started, and the costs are large. These costs then only further increase with construction when you've got to get this to here. Because believe it or not, building a concrete wall in the middle of nowhere is a harder challenge than some would like to admit. And it's not just materials that are a challenge, it's moving manpower to isolated locations and finding them accommodation and resources like food, water, and tons of sun cream. But ultimately, how much is it going to cost? Well, there's already a comparable example, and it's the Secure Fence Act. An act that ran out of cash but tested the waters Trump wants to build on. From the fencing it did manage to build, it cost $3.9 million per mile. So to cover the distance Trump wants, using only fencing and including natural barriers, would roughly cost $3.9 billion. But Trump wants a wall, and his campaign personally estimates the cost at $8 billion, with the media going even higher. The true cost, though, will only be known when completed. Much like the Olympics, these things usually go over budget. But who cares about budgets? Well, Trump certainly doesn't, and it's all because he has a simple solution we all know. Let the Mexicans pay for the wall. And while the solution has been laughed at, the reality is that Trump has many ways to pressure Mexico to pay up. Some of these methods include shutting down wire transfers, introducing higher trade tariffs, and increasing visa fees, which would all indirectly pay for the wall or force Mexico to directly pay up. Which means, ignoring the wider effects of sanctions on the economy, the wall would generate jobs for the United States and be net neutral to the US budget. But would it ultimately solve the issue of illegal immigration? It's estimated that over 40% of illegal immigrants enter the US legally. Meaning wall or no wall, illegal immigrants will still enter the US, and the only way to stop this is to close down legal immigration, something even Trump finds incomprehensible. So illegals will enter the country, but will the wall reduce illegal entries? To be honest, there is no solid answer for this, but there are examples that can provide insight. In 2015, during the migrant crisis, the Hungarian government erected a border fence to stop illegal entry. This fence had an immediate impact on immigration, demonstrated by this graph. While this demonstrates border barriers work, the focus was on to redirect immigration, not stop it. The migrants simply went around the fence via neighbouring countries, while the Trump wall wants to stop, not redirect. But two countries, Macedonia and Bulgaria, also built two border fences, intending to shut down immigration into Europe. Unlike Hungary, these were intended to stop migrants, and as they were built, migration almost ceased, providing some testimony that a wall might be a solution to one side of illegal immigration. But obviously comparing the two are like comparing apples and oranges. They're very different situations. All in all, the Trump wall is as large an ambition as its potential rewards, and only time will tell if it succeeds. What is known, if Trump does secure the presidency, this flagship policy will set in stone a new era of American politics.